Alright, so here's a little fun story of domestic terrorism for you. This is mid-December 2020. This story is just coming out now, but it apparently happened back in mid-October. So in mid-October, in Houston, Texas, you have a man who is a 63-year-old guy. He is a former police captain. So, he is approached somehow, don't really know the connection, but he was approached by the Liberty Center for God and Country, which that sounds like an English translation of an ISIS group, but anyway. Who are they? They are a right-wing Republican donor group, basically. And they were apparently tasking a bunch of citizens to investigate voter fraud. So, they approach this guy, they say, we need you to investigate potential voter fraud in Houston, right? So this guy's home, he's like getting ready, he's Nicolas Cage in his own action movie, and the fate of the country is in his hands, and only he's gonna stop it, and I imagine he's in the room one morning, like, putting on a bandana like Rambo, and his wife's going, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, I'm gonna save the fucking world. Right? So, he goes out, he sees a guy driving a air conditioning repair van, and he thinks, that's gotta be it. That whole air conditioning repair guy thing, that's obviously a front. This guy is, he said this guy was, quote, the mastermind of a giant fraud. The guy had nothing to do with it. But anyway, so he finds this guy, and he follows him for a whole day. He follows this guy around town, and he's convinced, based on nothing whatsoever, maybe a little racism, the guy was a brown guy, so obviously, bad guy in his little action movie that he's starring in. So he goes to one of his cop buddies and he says, listen, the fate of the world is in my hands. I need you, I've been stalking this guy, and I need you to pull him over, do a traffic stop. And I don't know what he like he's going to get his buddy to pull the guy over. Oh, sir, you got a taillight out. Mind if my friend over here searches your van? I guess. I don't know. So the cop denies. No, I'm not doing that. So this guy says, quote, fine, I will conduct the traffic stop myself. This guy's retired. He's not a cop anymore. He's a citizen. But, that's that whole, white guy boomer thing, is they just have this assumed authority over anyone. They can do anything they want. I'm not a cop, but surely I can conduct a traffic stop. Right? So, he ends up following this guy around town for 3 more days. Now, I don't know what he saw. The guy was completely innocent of anything. There was nothing. So I don't know what he saw that made him think that, like I said, quote, this guy was the mastermind of a giant fraud. But, he's getting a lot of money from this group, the Liberty Center for God and Country. They actually paid him in 3 different wire transfers. They paid him a total of $260,000. This place, these Republican donors, they just got money to burn, money to throw out the window. So he follows this guy for 3 more days, 4 days total. And then he finally, I guess, decides, you know what, I've had enough of following this guy. It's the climax of my action movie. I gotta do something. I gotta save the world, So he slams his car into the back of this guy's repair van, and then jumps out and puts a gun in his face, gets him out of the van, gets him on the ground, puts his knee in his back, and holds him until, the real cops show up. And So obviously they arrest this guy, this former police captain, whatever, and as he's like being dragged away, he's telling the other cops, you can be a hero or you can be part of the problem. What problem? You crashed your car into the back of this innocent dude's van and then put a gun in his face. And then he kept saying to the cops as he's being arrested, I hope you're a patriot. Like, this guy sees himself as like the savior of America. He didn't do anything. He stalked a guy, crashed his car, and then almost shot him in the face. This guy said, they interviewed this guy, and they released his name to the public, which I don't think they should have done, because more of these nutbags are just going to go after him. I'm not going to say his name. But they asked him, and he said that, the guy had his gun in his face, and he went and took the safety off, and the guy said, that's when I thought this guy was definitely going to kill me, And I don't blame him. He did, because he didn't know that this guy has been stalking him for 4 days. He didn't know that this guy was under the impression that he was the mastermind of a giant voter fraud. So he said that this guy, he was convinced, again, based on nothing, the cops, the real cops, searched this guy's van. They didn't find anything. It was oddly full of air conditioning repair tools, parts, whatever, I don't know, stuff like that. And this guy was convinced somehow, having never seen the inside of this guy's van, he was convinced that this guy had, what did he say, 750,000 ballots in the back of his van. 750,000. Very specific number, considering he had never seen them. But he was convinced, and he was also convinced he was, quote, using Hispanic children to sign the ballots because their fingerprints wouldn't be in any database. This guy is just like making shit up completely out of thin air. And he focused all his attention on this poor innocent dude. And who almost got killed over this other guy's delusion. And so they charged him. They charged him with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which is a second-degree felony. He's facing a maximum of 20 years in jail, which I think that's wrong. I'm not disagreeing with the 20-year possible sentence, and I'm not disagreeing with the being charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I'm saying charge this guy additionally with being a domestic terrorist. That's what he did. He committed an act of violence for political reasons. That's terrorism. I don't care that he wants to call himself a patriot. I don't care that he wants to be funded by the Liberty Center for God and Country, which, I mean, these right-wingers, they have these, like, trigger words. Like, they say liberty, and they say God, and they say country, and they say patriot, or they see a flag, and they just want to start, like, melting and tearing up and everything. This group, by the way, they paid them in 3 installments, a total of $260,000 for his investigation, I guess. I don't know. They bailed him out of jail for $30,000. And then the day after he pulls a gun on this innocent guy, the day after he gets out of jail for this, they paid him an additional $211,400. For what? Now, he was apparently only one of a whole group of random people that this organization was paying to do stuff like this. So you could be getting followed right now. You don't know. If you're driving a delivery van for like UPS or something, there could be some fucking right-wing nutbag following you, thinking that you're collecting like thousands in ballots. You don't know. These people are insane. This guy, he's saying to the cops as he's being arrested, you can be a hero or you can be part of the problem. I hope you're a patriot. Like, what are these cops supposed to do? These cops are supposed to, like, arrive at the scene. This guy is standing there with a gun pointed in the face of some innocent air conditioner repair guy with a van full of air conditioner repair stuff. And this guy's like mumbling incoherent shit about voter fraud and Hispanic children signing ballots without fingerprints and 750,000 ballots in the back of this truck and cleverly disguised as, like, tools and air conditioners. And he's saying I hope you're a patriot. I'm a patriot, and you can be a hero, part of the problem. Like, these cops are supposed to arrive on the scene, see this shit, take the gun out of his hand, arrest him, and then be like, oh, wait, it's okay. He said he was a patriot. We get to let him go now, right? No. You're a terrorist. You are a homegrown domestic terrorist, and this guy should be charged as such.